Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the ASMR Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Karosh, who can't get his mic out right now, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
New podcast, do this.
And Daniel Jang.
Hola.
And if you're not familiar with what we do, we sit around vacation beach houses,
Doing ASMR.
doing ASMR podcasts. Can you get a little bit closer?
Sure.
Thank you. And we have fun. We hope you have fun with us. We talk about nerdy stuff sometimes. Especially this time, and yeah, that's sort of what we do. We hope you enjoy this episode. This is episode 135, and before we get into things, there was a package.
What's in the box?
I have this box. It was left with my camera bag. And it told me to smell it.
What's that smell?
I don't know.
The rose.
The Rock is cooking right now. It was my ass. Pink box. Nice.
Ooh.
I still don't know what it
It's
is.
pinkberry.
Melted.
How was I supposed to smell this?
Maybe it was. They thought it was gonna be very strong.
Post-shave cooling gel.
Do you shave?
Maybe you're supposed to smell
sh-
it once you've opened it and seen it. Now
It's
you
like
smell it.
quadruple seal.
Making sure it doesn't spill out, you know? Now you know.
I smell plastic because it's wrapped in. Oh my God! This is the Jack Black brand.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
JB.
That's why.
Jablinski Games.
Hey.
Hey, that's funny. I was like, I knew it has to do with something. Like either it's a familiar smell or...
That's from Katie, I think.
What's Jablin's?
What's Jablinski? Before we get into our topics, let's get into the chat. What have you guys been up to
Sure.
this week?
Will it work after you made this?
Ooh.
We got him, boys.
We're coming home. We did it.
Houston, we don't have a problem.
Mission accomplished.
So we're recording a little earlier in the week. Can you hear me good or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. We're recording a little early in the week, and it's fucking Monday. And normally their stuff releases on Tuesday, so I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. I can fucking record on Monday and not have to worry about it, and then play the rest of the week." No, it came out on Monday, and I have to miss it. Thanks, guys.
Of course. We're helping you get through that server issues.
So the wait times are ridiculous. The original server that me and my buddies were planned on had like a 700+ minute wait time. So they hit me up and they're like, "Yeah, we're moving servers." I'm like, "Definitely." New one that I went into was a 30-minute wait time. And then I got in, played for 10 minutes, and then Jang hit me up to head out to the
Podcast time.
So I try to find a resting area so I can log out, and it'll give me like increased XP bonuses. And I couldn't find an area in that starting zone. Most starting zones I don't think have one.
Is this the Horde or the Alliance?
I'm
one?
on the Horde. I'm undead, so it takes me to I forgot the name of it, Silver Spine Forest, but I've never really started in this area.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm like, I went into every building I could find. I'm like, none of this works, and so I just randomly logged out in a spot. And I'm not resting right now.
You have a
bastards.
pretty nice computer, right?
Yeah. I mean,
How does Classic look?
shittier.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
know compared to current WoW it looks
Yeah.
shittier, but like, is it refined or remastered in any
Oh
way?
man, I don't think so. I mean,
Really?
I noticed that like the map is the options that the map used to have on this new one aren't there, and then my portrait like that shows my character is a lot bigger. So I think it is like the old UI.
Okay.
So I think everything is there.
I just didn't know if they touched up the visuals or anything, like made it look cleaner or
Yeah.
made it like so you can up-res it to like 4K or.
I didn't look at the settings.
Okay.
The main thing I went into the settings to try to change when you talk to an like NPC, it like slowly the text slowly comes out. You have to wait for all the text before like it gives you the option to like continue the
Star
the-
Wars.
the thing. And I'm like, immediately went in the menus. I'm like, where the fuck is immediately full text log? And I found it. And so now you talk to them, it's just boom, like the whole text is
Okay.
there. So
Nice.
that's the first thing I did. Other than that, I haven't touched the graphics. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But we back, boys.
Back.
Wait, is there anything different? Like, what are they gonna like? Are they
They're-
gonna add expansions to this, or like
So
just
for-
classic, or
I haven't looked into it, but from my understanding is, yeah, like it's literally just starting over again in like a similar timeline where
this
it'll-
is weird? Like,
That's what I brought up last week. I
it's
was
gonna
like, the
just be,
cycle of-
it's like a cycle
and you're
of
gonna
life.
do it again the third time, third
Yeah,
prestige.
I just want to live my life all
Dude,
over again. I get to start all over
man,
again.
Blizzard is making dough with
They're making up
nostalgia.
for Diablo.
Nostalgia, man.
It's sorry. I don't think it'll last though, for sure, because it's nostalgia. Like right now, it's
It'll buy them
it's
time till
super hype. Yeah,
whatever else they decide to do.
yeah. I mean, it'll last a while because there's so many people that wanted this original.
Yeah.
But once they start,
And
like, if
Twitch
they
is
do,
blowing up right now.
Yeah.
I think it was like I don't know. It might be higher, but at some point it maxed to 1 million people viewing, people playing, which is insane for
Yeah.
that one channel, which is World of Warcraft. But I'm sure, like, as they started adding expansions, people know how these expansions work. So if they go to expansion that people don't like, they're like, nah, I don't want to play this game anymore, and like it's over, kind of thing. But I hope they do, because Burning Crusade was where I technically fully went into it. I played during Classic, but I stopped at like level 40, never went max, so never did endgame stuff. And then came back when it was Burning Crusade, and that's where I did all the endgame stuff. And I really enjoyed that area.
If you met someone who's never played World of Warcraft, would you tell them to play this, or would you tell them to play whatever the current?
I would say this,
Why?
because for me, it's I don't know, like, this was the game for me. Like, I can't, like, I've played other games, and it's just, I always lose
The
interest.
classic one, I mean.
No, like World of Warcraft in general. And
No,
the
no,
fact
I'm
that
talking
it's-
about classic servers versus whatever the current expansions.
Oh,
That's
see
what I
you're
meant.
saying.
Like, if someone were to be like,
I-
I've never played World of Warcraft,
I would say this because everyone's starting, so it gives everyone
Because
a
of the
foothold.
crowd?
Yeah, exactly. Because
and the clean slate.
Yeah, and
I'd-
it's starting all over again. So
I disagree.
Really?
Like, if I told, well, I'm thinking of Monster Hunter. If someone said Monster Hunter Freedom Unite or Monster Hunter World, I'd tell them more casual, or World is more casual. I'd tell them to play the easier one.
The only thing I was thinking for the not classic, not this remastered, but like whatever the latest,
Mhm.
my thought was whatever problems the older ones had in terms of like loading, queuing up, they've refined,
Yeah.
and like quality of life is better, much like what Jang's saying with the world. So I thought that would be an appealing factor.
It's true. I mean, like, you start getting a mount very early. I think you like level 20. When in this one it's level 40, you get the slowest mount. Which, I mean, compared to walking, it's faster. But when you compare the two mounts, you're like, this is ridiculous. I'd rather walk. It's almost what it feels like.
Okay.
But I think it's also simplified in a sense. You know, there isn't all this stuff to work around with and all that. I don't know. I just
Okay. I
I'm-
could see pros to both.
Yeah.
The livelier crowd definitely is.
yeah. But
makes for-
personally, yeah, I'd say start fresh, clean slate on this new one.
What have you been up to, Jay?
Amnesia.
The
let
game?
me let me forget about this game, please.
It's boop.
Have you've never played it before?
Yeah, never played it. It was the king of scary games. Got scared twice. It's just, I don't know. Visage is just such a jarring experience. Like,
What
going
came
to this
in terms of development? What came first?
Amnesia. It's like a 10-year-old game. Visage is like a year old.
I wonder if like Visage built off of anything. Does it have any similarities?
It's the most, so it, in terms of like atmospheric scares, Amnesia is the closest to Visage, where you just hear things and it just like, but there's no like weight to it. Like, I'll hear like talking, and I'll hear Dead Space did it too.
Okay.
I would hear stuff, but it's just like nothing's gonna happen. And I know I'm safe. And every time something happens, I go shh on stream, like shh. But in Visage, there's a chance of something might happen if you hear something. So like, I don't know, and you can outrun the monster.
Have you beaten Amnesia?
I
So
plan
what
on platinuming it.
What if it's building up? Like you're just like, oh, nothing ever.
Which is
happened.
funny because some guy said you haven't hit the scariest part of the game yet, and I was like, okay, well, I look forward to it because it's not that.
So far
Yeah,
hasn't.
I
It's
feel
okay.
Like it's literally like training you to be like, oh, sounds is fine because nothing ever happens, and you hit spots where it's like you don't know which is
I
which.
think I played it when it first came out with my brother and my cousin. watching someone play didn't feel scary. Playing it
Yeah.
freaked me out, and I don't know how far we got, but when I heard steps, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to play.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch one of you guys play.
Which is funny. There's a trophy. Like right when you begin the game, if you quit, that's a trophy. The trophy is nope. It's just nope. And it's funny because I'm trying a different strategy to up my like Twitch streams and finally hit double digit viewage, which is dude, I need to keep on going higher, but like I'm doing this strategy of scary games on the weekends, and it's bringing people in. And Near Automata is actually bringing people in, and I could finally raid people, like people who have single digits. Like I could never raid people because I only have like 5 people watching, but now I can raid people. It just feels good just to raid people.
That's good.
But
Give them back.
Damn, where was I going with this? Amnesia. It's just I don't know. It is scary. It is scary, but it's just like Visage was such an experience, and people talk like my horror fans. They say, "Yeah, dude, Visage is probably the scariest game." But there's a part in Amnesia that happens. Like the monster just like opens the door like right in front of you, right? And people in the chat were like, "Dude, that scared the fuck out of me. It did nothing to you." And I was like, "Dude, you can outrun the monster. It's not scary." But I'm going to do hardcore mode, which is the monsters are fucking faster. They can see you from far away. You can only save if you have 5 tinder boxes. So it's like way more hardcore.
Do you use them all 5?
I use all my... I don't use them.
No, but in the hard mode, like do you have to use all 5, or does it only use 1, but you have to have 5 minute to use?
You have to have 5 minimum to save.
Okay.
You can to use one, you can use, I think, but to save, you need 5. Use all 5 at once. I don't know.
Okay.
It's. Oh, now I remember. So one of the trophies where I'm at, it unlocked, and I looked at it 5%, and the guys in the chat were like, "What, 5%?" And it's like, "What? Why? What happened?" I was like, "I think people quit the game, like because of the scariness. Like they didn't get that far." It's like I don't think it's hard. It's just people to platinum that. Not a lot of people have it.
Yeah.
It'll be my hardest trophy, which doesn't make any sense because there's been Uncharted 1, 2, 3, but yeah, and still chipping away at Nier. So now it's bad because side quests on 9s. And you know me. We're not playing the main story.
He's gonna be.
We're just gonna do the side quests. Dude.
All the moose are gone.
I don't kill them, I ride them.
Which, to be honest with you, the whole playthrough, I never rode.
I never even messed with him. I was like,
and so I was watching him stream one time, and he's like, all right, let's travel, and he hops on one, and some guys in chat, you can fucking ride them.
Dude, it's so much faster than running, dude. It's like, but I had to finish the side quest, man.
No.
There's also a trophy for writing, which you got while I was watching him. It's like wild.
I bought that trophy. Because you can do that. You can just buy this.
Yeah.
Well, okay. If I finish 9s,
you can go back. You can go back to the first playthrough too. Now that you understand part of this.
Okay, so wait. Here's the question. Okay,
Don't
I
worry
finished
about
a
that
couple side quests. If I were to go back to the first playthrough, would those side quests still be open?
The ones that you didn't complete on that first playthrough would still be open, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just do the main story, boys.
But that requires you to say not donate your save.
Okay, I remember you guys telling me about that.
If if you donate your save, you can't go back to all these things.
Right. But you can stop before that time period and go back into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What if? Okay, never mind. I don't want to know too much.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want to say, as of right now,
don't donate the save. Okay. Oh, I do plan on. If I did finish everything, I do plan on donating my save.
So I suggest don't going to the end.
For the glory of mankind, gotta help my fellow men.
I want you to reach the end of this game.
And also,
I kind of need to replay this whole thing. I think it's been the longest for me.
Also, I don't understand the chip upgrading system, but the game's so easy. Like, I don't.
Do you use like the recommended?
Yes.
Okay, then that's good enough.
I was customizing to what I liked.
I used the recommended, and then eventually I kind of caught on and was switching what I wanted.
Certain things I didn't use, so I was like, I don't even want to put anything in that, and it kept putting stuff. So I would always put stuff into my dodge to like do the slow mo shit, and auto heal was a big one. and I think those are the main two. And then like my thing, turret shooting.
And Master Serval's a bitch right now. Like, he's such a high level.
Just
Like,
hack him, dude.
that side quest. No, I'm just like, fuck
Yeah.
this guy, dude. But
Anything else?
I went to a Twitch meetup.
Twitch City.
They were asking about Vargas and the podcast.
The podcast? How's it going?
They were
How's it
like-
going, Vargas?
New
How's the podcast
Who's
going?
this?
But
How's your podcast going?
oh shit, not started. But it was at the L.A. Stadium. It was pretty cool.
The LA Rams.
Yeah, L.A. Rams, and like we both have a friend that's a big Rams fan, and it felt like a commercial for buying season tickets, which is cool. Like the way they do it, I don't know how much they are.
Being there for like commercials. to
No,
buy
but
tickets.
I don't know if I'll survive that long. But after 50 years, you get your money back. It's like a weird investment. So you pay for it up front, and then after 50 years, you get the money back.
I'm sorry. Hold on. So you're buying 50 years worth up front?
Oh no. I don't know how it works. I don't know.
Do you know the price?
I don't know the price.
Bitcoin.
I didn't ask.
I assume it's like around 5
But-
grand probably.
That stadium is gonna be sick. So they have a stadium, and there's gonna be like a shopping center, like the Grove next door, and then there's gonna be another concert part right there next to it. It looks nice.
Esports. That's what
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
No, and they even
Yeah.
touched upon that esports.
Fortnite.
Future-proof.
And also, what's cool is they're doing giveaways. They give 2 tickets to something. I couldn't hear.
Holy fuck.
Oh no! Yeah, it was like an esports.
It went over there.
It was like 2 tickets to esports events. And
That was a big roach, dude.
cut my life into pieces. This is
Gonna go on my bag.
Yeah, it went towards your stuff. Did you see it?
No,
It's in the bag now.
What's in the bag?
I'm taking them home. Taking them home.
And I don't know, dude. Like, there's a lot of new streamers. And I don't want to like discourage new streamers. It's
Just
just,
stop right now.
it's just, I don't know. Like, it's super saturated. I mean, the podcast, like, we know like creating content is like super saturated. So it's just really difficult. And I feel like people are there to hang out
Mm-hmm.
and not really like network or
Not be the best.
take
they
it
can be.
seriously.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Okay. For me, I finished season 2 of Legion. Very good show.
How many seasons is it?
3. And it's season 3 is looking like it's going to be pretty good. It's
Is it still going or?
No, it's done.
3 seasons. It finished, ended. The guy that made this show, he did the TV versions of Fargo. Really good TV. Highly recommend it. He's been pitching to Kevin Feige that he wants to make a Doctor Doom movie, and he has a script, and he's discussed it with him, and they've been like, we'll see, kind of. But I'm like, I would love to see him handle or make an effort at a Doctor Doom sort
Yeah.
of story. Yeah, Legion is just like I said in the past, it's captivating, but like it's hard to follow. But the moments, like it's sort of like a Tarantino thing where you're like, I don't know what I'm watching, but when I'm watching it, it grabs you.
Yeah.
And like it's telling you something, and the moments are very interesting, and like you get something out of that specific scene. But like how it fits in a larger picture isn't always clear until like, and even later when it's not, you're like, it was still a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he shares that with Tarantino in his own way. So watch that. I think that's about it. I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon. I just recently got a new phone, so I've been like tinkering with that. All the gizmos and gadgets on that.
Yeah, just galore.
Well, like I was like, man, the screen is huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna try installing Final Fantasy Tactics on my phone and like messing around with it, and it looks nice. I'm like, PSP, we're back. And I think that's about it since last time. So you guys want to get in topics?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We're starting.
So, what are your thoughts on that? So there was a thing on Twitter recently, Twitter Gaming, our homie, that could have got us scuff controllers. Not kidding, not kidding. But which is funny. One of my Instagram highlights is that post. But anyways, I digress. Name your video game crush. But I'm gonna expand it. Name 3 of your video game crushes. You want me to start?
Go for it.
Mei Ling from Metal Gear Solid. She's just the Asian girl in a business suit.
Oh,
Super
okay.
cute.
Yeah.
Super kawaii. I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
She's in Metal Gear Solid 4, I think. I don't know. She's
Not
in
1 and 2. I think.
or
1.
maybe she's in 1 for
in
sure. Was she in 2 or 4? I forgot. I think she's in 4. Yeah.
What? Why? What was the memory with
Super kawaii.
her? Kawaii?
Yeah.
What's that?
Scary.
Cute. What? It's cute. Yeah. I
Is
don't
the
know.
term
Just
for cute?
it's not even like
I
you
think
never
it's Japanese.
see her. Like you just see her codec picture. I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, she's like super cute.
It's like an AIM profile, like Hotmail, MSN.
Let me fix my hair.
For me, crush. I always was into the fighting game chicks.
Mhm.
There was. This is tough. I'm trying to narrow it down.
Melina.
No. I always liked. I'd say Cammy.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Cammy. Like Chun-Li was great. I'm not knocking her or anything, but like I always felt like Cammy was more tomboyish than in terms of personality than Chun-Li was.
It was the victory pose, huh?
Thunderclap.
Got him.
I mean, it was a crush for a reason. But I'm just saying between the two, that was the difference maker was like she seemed like more like cool. Chun-Li seemed very uptight just on from the films and then from how she's portrayed in a lot of stuff, but if it's looks only, it's probably a tie.
So yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna bring up Cammy. I guess the next one would be like Chun-Li as well for me. Was another one. I don't know why. Like, I mean, I guess just obviously it's just the female.
Thick thighs don't
Thunder
lie.
thighs?
Thunder thighs.
Thick thighs don't lie. Thicker than a Snicker.
Yeah. It's yeah.
That's from
for me
a
it'd
rap
be-
song.
Oh my.
Thicker than a Snicker. I think that's from a rap song.
But yeah, it would be like Cammy and Chun-Li would be. My
Wow.
those
Copy.
picks.
Copy.
Wow.
Well, I'm going with Chun-Li because you chose Cammy, but Cammy would have been my first.
Wow.
My first crush. No,
Too
not
bad.
Wow. Second one is from Final Fantasy VI, Terra, the main character. It's weird. That game's weird because she's the main character for the first half of the game. I'll just say that. So it's not really a spoiler. You just control a different character. She doesn't die or anything. But you just control a different character in the second half. But Terra, I don't know. The green hair. There's something about the green hair. But does the carpet match the drapes? She's like she's half a god too, so.
Oh, I mean, that's points. Next one for me would be the Queen of Blades, Kerrigan. I remember-
Before?
Huh?
Queen of Blades?
Both.
Oh.
I think
kinky.
actually more during when she's Queen of Blades.
Tentacle.
Dreads, dude. No, she was like, I don't know, it's her character. She went from this like part of the crew. She had that whole thing with Jim Raynor. I followed that story at a young age, and like, it was like it was still like 90s, early 2000s, like
Yeah.
weird CG, but like her becoming this badass queen was like whoa, and like had this power like trip going with it, and like the look was really cool. So everything just like lined up, and I was like, wow, this is really like it's cool, and like yeah, I would follow you.
Bow down to me, plebs.
Mine would be well, I forgot her name.
From
Aerith, Final Fantasy. Yeah, there's always like the Tifa fanboys.
which Final Fantasy is that?
7.
Okay.
There's always like the Tifa fanboys because she's very plump in
Oh.
all the right places.
Not in the new one.
She's not.
I
thought
think
she
they
was.
dumbed it down because of how ridiculously realistic it is. I don't actually, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Oh, there was a controversy about it. I thought it was that it was small and it went bigger. Okay.
It went smaller.
Okay. So
They should just give an option, dude. Just you know,
character customization.
down or up, you know, just for that one specific.
Auto anti-aliasing.
But yeah, like Aerith was always like, it wasn't about like the looks for her. For me, it was like, you know, she was very kind-hearted and stuff like that. So I feel like I felt more for her than I did for Tifa. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the exact opposite and pick Tifa.
Ooh.
Only because I don't want to spoil the story for those who haven't played it, but she's ride or die as fuck. She's
like the Michelle Rodriguez of the group.
She's just down. And if you know the story, you'll understand why.
Okay. This last one's a tough one for me, but I'm gonna go to one of my earliest memories. When I was in Deku Village, in Ocarina of Time,
Mm-hmm.
I always knew that like the whole thing was like Zelda or Link's infatuated with Zelda. They have this whole thing. I thought she was a little overrated. I mean, like I didn't know as much about her. I didn't know the whole her and Sheik and all these other things. So to me, she was just a princess, and so I looked at her like she was more of a flat character. I really liked in the village. There was like one of the girls that you're hanging around with, and like I just thought like Link and her had a very cute, childish kind of like romance friendship. It was cute, and I was like, oh, that's kind of I like that.
Skull Kid?
That's my last one.
I'm gonna go with a more recent one, dude. Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh,
You
I know
You
why.
guys know, you guys know what's up.
Kojima knows what's
You know, it just makes great cosplay. It's just all. No, it's a character from like one of the very last Metal Gear Solid games, and literally it's just like a bra, panties, and
Fishnet.
fishnet. I mean, I don't know why Kojima did this, but you know he offered
You know why.
he offered very early high quality photos for cosplayers to be able to cosplay.
Really?
Yeah, so like even before the game was out, there was already like hardcore
Wow.
cosplayers playing it.
That's crazy.
And it's funny, you know, people mess around with it. So like we've seen like male cosplayers
Yeah.
do something similar and play
Gender
that
bender
character.
ones.
Exactly. So I think it's always cool.
Do you have any more?
That's it. No honorable mentions?
A lot of the Overwatch females.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess you could count Harley Quinn because of the Arkham games. Happy 10th anniversary to Arkham games.
Hey, Arkham Asylum.
And to my Harley. Oops.
I would always have Batman linger around a little bit longer.
2B.
Oh, yeah. 100%. For the glory of mankind. Misty? When I was really young? I mean, those suspenders.
The thing is, like, if I go based off of the video game, it's all pixelated. If I go off of the show, well, yeah, I guess.
Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Hey, the cones. I never really played much of the Lara Croft games.
Yeah, I haven't really either. Bastilla from Knights of the Republic.
Bayonetta.
Ooh. Glasses. Guns.
You should do a gender bend Bayonetta.
Have you seen Mega 64's Bayonetta?
No.
Fuck.
Do they do a gender bend?
And those guys aren't very fit, so it seems like a hilarious
funny.
fit.
Okay. That's all I have.
Zero Suit Samus.
Oh, yeah, Samus.
Dark-
Big crush.
Dark Samus.
Any
Ooh.
Samus.
That's it.
Okay. My topic. Recently read Kotaku, as you know, we're all avid fans of on this show. There was an article that caught my eye. It was about people that have games they really enjoy, but for some reason don't get around to finishing or just leave unfinished. And I kind of wanted to talk those thoughts out of like, why does that happen to you? If it does, do you think it's something you can change? Or?
I see you.
There's a lot of these motherfuckers.
It's
We got
nighttime.
fans.
It's probably the heat during the day that brings them out or gives them energy.
Yeah, just a discussion of like Does that happen? When was the last time it happened? Why do you think? Talk it out.
I mean, I have one. Like, I feel like I've mentioned it before, but Final Fantasy X. It's like, obviously, it's a newer Final Fantasy. Well, it's old now, but it was like a newer one, and I immediately fell in love with it. I feel like at this point, it's probably my #1 Final Fantasy game.
But you've beaten it?
I have not beaten it.
Oh, okay.
I've not beaten it. So what it was, like, I think originally the PS2. So PS2 is where I played it the most. I got like, I would say like 99%. I know that I was right outside to fight the final boss. I don't know if there's more after that. And I stopped there. I literally saved inside the cave. From my understanding, if I leave the cave, it started the fight, or in a certain direction. So I would backtrack, and I tried to platinum the game, or at least do everything I could before this fight, just so I can platinum my first run. And I never got around to like getting every single legendary that was required. And it wasn't even. I was just trying to get one fucking legendary, and getting any of them is such a huge hassle because there wasn't platinums at the time. And then, so I stopped there, and then like PS3 came out. Eventually picked up the PS3. I bought the PS3 version that it came out with. Played that one. I believe that one did have trophies. I tried to platinum at that point. Same thing. I stopped like halfway through because I couldn't. I was trying to do everything I could, and I just got overwhelmed. And now I've picked it up for both PS4 and PC, and I haven't touched either version.
And Switch, right?
No, I'm not going to do Switch.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nintendo.
Once they do platinum, maybe, or trophies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a game like I mean, I've literally like played almost all of it, but I just have not actually finished the game.
Do you think you ever will?
If I ever stream, maybe.
Ooh.
You're not gonna finish it.
Burn. Yeah, we lost him.
The
No,
marmalade.
Wow's like
He's
happy.
got-
Like, we got him, boys.
Man.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, man, that happens all the time. Especially with, it's more of a streamer's perspective. Like I look at, I'll enjoy a game like Doom,
Future
Wolfenstein, and I'll be like, it's not getting me views, and I got to move on. But I feel like this new strategy is working. Scary games, and then playing what I need to play. So I will go back to Doom, Wolfenstein. I need to know what happens. Damn, I need a platinum. And I used to be a platinum machine, and now I don't have that mindset
Hey,
of just,
Roberto still got you beat on platinum. So.
oh, I got the harder ones. Hey, it's quality, not quantity. But I'm focused on Amnesia right now. I'm actually really focused. So I will try to platinum it. I will, and it's the hardest. It'll be the harder platinum to get. So yeah, it happens to me all. There's so many games, dude. I just want to platinum them, but it's very. It feels like work sometimes. Platinum.
Yeah.
And I try to read guides to like mitigate the damage, but it's still tough. It's still tough.
I think for me, two games that I think of a lot that I always am like, man, I love this, but I just have never beaten or never gotten around to getting much further in them, and they are Super Mario RPG and
Never beat that?
No. I've gotten a good way into it, and I love that game. I did what Vargas did with it, where it's like I'll hack it onto a calculator, and by the time I do, I'm like, all right. And then I'll be like, I'll hack it onto an iPod, a PSP, my laptop, and like 4 other devices. And every time I get it on there,
What's the furthest boss you've got?
I got to that gator guy with the hat,
Okay.
and like you're chasing him through sewers.
I mean, I can't say anything because I never beat it too, but. Okay. Here's my reasoning why I never beat it. I never had it in Super Nintendo. I had it on a ROM,
Yeah, I had
and
one.
there's a point where I couldn't get past because I don't know. I was playing on keyboard, and I was too poor to afford a controller, so I
Yeah, I
couldn't
did the same.
couldn't get past the part with the keyboard.
Why?
I don't know. It's just this block I couldn't get to. Dude, man, it's fucking Visage. I get Visage flashbacks, dude. I saw something in the corner of my eye and just like, fuck, dude. I hear things now, dude. It's fucking bad, dude. You'll see me in stream like near Automata, like, it's fucking.
Yeah, Twitch Hollywood. No one
Oh
talks
my
to me.
Dude, that's the craziest thing is how messed up a game's gotten where he's just like occasionally in real life that feels like, oh fuck, oh shit.
I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, like Super Mario RPG, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and Earthbound. All three of
You
these
just threw
games.
all 3 games in already.
Well, no, I'm trying to get a pattern here. Bear with me.
I'm done.
I feel like I put,
RPGs.
they're all RPGs. I noticed that they
They're
share
all
that.
Japanese.
No.
No.
The other
Two
thing is,
are
I
Japanese.
put them on such high pedestals. I think that I'm afraid to like commit to like putting the time to play them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how and why I do that, but every time I think about, it, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna play this. I'm like, no, I don't want it to go away. Like I have this image of like, I have yet to finish it,
Yeah.
and I just there were actually Earthbound. I made an attempt once, and I was doing a ROM, and I just save stated at a certain point where it's got me stuck. So I couldn't. I was too under level to beat the boss, so I was just stuck. I couldn't. If I wanted to figure a way out, I had to like restart my whole game or something. I was like, fuck. I fucked myself. But yeah, Mario RPG. I was like, oh, it's on the Super NES Classic. I'll play it. And I'm like, I want it on the Switch.
Mine is like pretty much the whole Metal Gear Solid franchise. I think I've only beaten one. I think it was Snake Eater. It's the only one. Is that the one with the?
Is that the GameCube version?
No,
No? Oh,
but I mean they've released
It's
it.
in
I
the
think it was-
60s, set in the
That's
60s.
Twin Snake. Twin Snake is the game.
What's the one where it has you have to fight the old man in like the little forest area? And you
Snake
have to-
Eater.
Yeah, that's the one I've beaten. Other than that though, like I've never 100% followed the story. So
Yeah.
like every time I play a game, like I usually get really lost, and it's
It's
kind of what happened-
confusing.
Yeah, and
I
it's-
couldn't tell you.
And it's exactly what happened in 5. 5 is the most recent one that I played that I didn't end up beating either. Like there was so much, like it turns into like a big open world, and there's just so much to do, and I played so much, but it's because you're also doing the small stuff too, and you feel like you've done so much, and then you're just like 10% of the way. All right, then.
Intro.
Matt Damon turning to old man.
Fuck, it's like watching a movie, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the movie, that they finally show the intro, you know, and you're just like, wait, what? Yeah, like I mean, that's just those games are amazing, and just the what he does like for combat and gameplay and everything like that. It's really cool. But I've never really. I mean, other than one game, I've never managed to beat the other ones.
It took a while for me to beat 1, but 2 was very much the way you're talking about, where it's just like
Codec. 30 minutes later.
Snake.
yeah, and I'm playing on easy, and I suck at these kinds of games too. So yeah. I understand the pain.
The game that I've seen the intro to for very, very many times.
The Witcher.
No, I haven't even started. I bought it just like a month ago.
October.
On
It's
Switch?
coming on Switch.
Because you fucked it.
Oh, nah. I want the trophies. Final Fantasy 9. It's so beloved. It's a lot of people's favorites. I've never played it. It goes back to the old school Final Fantasy where it's just magic and fantasy. And I've seen that fucking intro where he's in the fucking ship like 20 times. And I just never get past the intro. Like I play, save game, turn off, I'm done.
Bye.
And the most recent one was when it came out for the Switch. And I was like, okay,
Sit.
we're doing it now.
I'm gonna play Resident Evil 4 for the 100th time.
We're doing it now, boys.
I know.
Play it, saw the intro, updated graphics. I'd rather have the pixelated graphics. That sharp graphics turned me off. I was like,
Wow.
They should not have. I always feel like
Toggle.
when they do games, you should have a toggle version.
yeah. So Final Fantasy 9 because I've seen the intro like 30 times and never got past the intro.
I know that I've already gotten further than you.
I think I'm learning through this. I think mine is always an RPG. The Witcher 3. I've started that intro like at least 10 times. I love the way the world looks. I think I would totally get immersed in it. It's just I'm always like, I could grind 100 strikes in Destiny, and I don't know why that sounds better.
Did you have another one?
Just that Witcher one I mentioned.
Okay.
I'm just like
Um,
trying to understand.
For me, yeah, I'm gonna go the same route. Like, I guess these are honorable mentions, but it's leading to the main one. Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 8 specifically is one I haven't beaten. Played a lot of it too. I don't know how far, maybe like 80% of the way, and then just stopped. Final Fantasy 6, which I actually only played because he talks a lot about it. It's one of his favorites.
I've heard Jang and another
Um,
friend of mine always talk about that game.
But that game is way past my time. At least playing it now, like it's just like I don't know. I don't see it interesting.
Okay.
But he'd mentioned like the villains and stuff like that, and so it got me interested. But playing it, I think I dedicated quite a bit of time to that. But it wasn't there for me. So those are all RPGs, and then the main one, the one that like is one that I would love to beat. I just haven't, and it's because I got stuck in it too. Chrono Trigger. I've actually never beaten that game.
You and me both.
Have you played it though?
Like 5 minutes of it.
No, I put a lot of time. Like there is a point where like the part that I got stuck, I probably played for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it just like I remember I was just getting like bored, like I was getting like nausea because I couldn't figure this out, and I'm like, dude, and it's a point where like time is involved.
Yeah.
And I like
This is not the game.
yeah.
You have a time machine.
Yeah, so timeline's involved, and so you're going in an area and you can kind of switch back and forth, and like neither one would let me go forward. Like there's one when I go in one timeline, there's like a robot blocking. When I change the timeline, it's not there, but there's like rocks fell or something like that. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to? And I know it's like the robot, like because the rocks aren't gonna fucking move, but I could never like
Do it.
I couldn't do anything, and I'm just like whatever. And I put a pause on it, and never went back to it. And I think that was. I don't know when. I think that was on PlayStation, or I don't know. It wasn't on PC, and it wasn't any of the recent consoles. So I don't remember where I had played it that much, but never managed to beat it.
I think I need to slowly, like, the thought recently also came up. We talked about, like, games coming out and the frequency in which they're coming out. And I'm like, it's only going to get worse. Like, or better, or however you want to look at it. But, like, the frequency of games is going to continue. It's up to me to control how I react to that.
True.
And I think the hard part to retrain myself is
Only pick up the games you're playing.
not focusing on that in the moment conversation like when a game launches.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was listening to the IGN's Nintendo voice chat, their like podcast for Nintendo stuff, and I'm like, they stress that, like they emphasize so much this feeling of like playing the game when it first comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there's so many games that like we're playing and that many people, like the general population of people, don't play until like a holiday comes around or a birthday comes around or whatever. It's like I'm getting myself more acclimated to how journalists are playing games than how a regular person might play, an average person. Or
I mean, I feel like that's always been for me. Like I've always like as soon as a game comes out, I want to play it.
yeah, there's an
and-
excitement to it.
yeah.
I understand that, like, because everyone's like, for not for everyone, but like maybe for you, Call of Duty is like the biggest thing. Let's say, for me, it's like kind of okay, but because you're excited, I'm excited, and I want to share that experience.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll get it too, and like I want to talk about it and all this stuff, and it's like becomes like a movie in a sense. But then you realize that the game isn't a 2-hour experience like a movie. It's a 60-hour, for instance, like an RPG. We're talking about these Witchers and in the Final Fantasies, and in the next week, there's going to be 3 other games I want to play that you're kind of on, and it's like it just keeps like, I feel like I'm getting more diluted as it goes, and I'm like, it's as a player, it's unsustainable. For my wallet, it's definitely unsustainable. So I'm like, I gotta not buy. Like I saw Super Hot out available right now, and I always know that Vargas, you're always talking about it, and I'm like, hold on, hi, pretty good yourself. Oh, okay. What's it called? Yeah, you're always talking about Super Hot, and I'm like, oh, I should give it a try, but I'm like, I haven't played Fire Emblem, I haven't played Dragon Quest. I haven't played. I haven't finished. I've played a lot of, but I haven't finished Super Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't justify right now getting super hot and jumping in. Like even Gato Roboto, I was like, I need that's not even a long game, and I need to finish.
Yeah.
It keeps adding up, and it's like the backlog. It goes into the conversation of backlog and stuff.
That goes into why I don't want to pre-order anymore, because if I pre-order, I'm going to buy the game,
Yeah.
and it's just going to sit there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have obligation to play my the backlog of games I have, and so if I don't pre-order, I won't buy it right away. I might have a chance to play the previous games, because I have so many games that are technically still sealed. Like I haven't really
Knack
touched
2,
them.
baby.
Yeah, and they're newer games. Like I picked up Days Gone. I haven't touched it.
Didn't you
Yeah.
get that in the deal though?
I got in the deal. That's which is why I picked it up.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
but
you wouldn't have picked it up normally.
yeah, I wouldn't have picked it up normally, and
Yeah,
I
but
haven't
yeah.
touched it. You know, like
I think also being cognizant of genres and how those are. Like,
Mhm.
if I'm getting an RPG, I need to realize that this is a time sink
Yeah.
versus like I'm just getting a quick like a game like Inside or like a indie game where it's a short experience.
What's dangerous is all these, especially you mentioned super hot indie games. They're so cheap,
Yeah.
and you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the dangerous part. And there's so many indie games coming out. There's a lot of games coming
Mhm.
out, and a lot of these games are getting good reviews.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, fuck.
There's a lot of good developers. Like it's becoming a bigger like development.
Nintendo's been killing.
Yeah. And making them all more accessible. I think the other thing is, I was about to say, developers.
Indie games.
You said indie games.
multiple games, quality of games, pre-orders.
November.
No, I literally just
November, the 5th of November.
No indie games. You said, and then I was gonna say something. There's a lot of indie games.
Like, you know how like that Breath of the Wild year was bad?
Yeah.
This is, I think, might be worse because there's not great games, but there's a lot of very good games.
Yeah.
More very good games coming out than that year.
Yeah.
It's Dragon Quest, Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, and then you got Pokemon, you got Luigi's Mansion. It's like Nintendo's gearing up, dude.
That's just Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Monster Hunter, I'm not gonna pick up. No interest. 0 to none.
It's funny because we were talking about it. Like I didn't realize how far back Monster Hunter goes for us. Like we're meeting
This podcast wouldn't be here.
This podcast because of Monster Hunter. Like I don't even remember. Like the earliest memory I have is
We're turning our backs on our heritage.
I know we're not picking it up, but it is like I think it was the mobility of that game that caused me to keep coming back to it. And now that it's-
Double cross. We loading up again.
I can't do that.
So
Next packs.
So
Next packs.
on your birthday, that's gonna be the competition.
Oh,
Time
dude.
trials.
That's another game I haven't finished. Monster Hunter. Any Monster Hunter game.
I finished Monster Hunter games.
I wouldn't say I'd finished it.
I mean, like
Yeah.
you're
I've rolled
thinking
I've
about
rolled-
100%,
Yeah.
but Xenogeia is
No, no.
the finish.
Whenever
I've rolled credits.
I would have before I saw this, I would have said I've beaten the game, but then we saw Bojang, dude. That motherfucker just shows me his little
Then-
trophy list,
But
maxed out. and
if
I'm
you
like,
think of
I-
it like that,
I need to do
you've
that.
never beaten the game, dude. 100%.
Ever.
I mean,
Even World of
anything with the
Warcraft.
platinum, dude. What are you talking about, dude?
No, you haven't beaten it. There's
I've beaten it.
Grand Theft Auto.
The Witness.
100%.
I beat it.
You didn't beat it.
I got platinum.
Yeah, I that's all I had on.
Yeah.
You wanna?
All right. So my topic is gonna be recently over this weekend we had D23 the expo.
Mm.
And they
D23?
announced
D's
a lot of
nuts.
different shows for their streaming service. And so I just want to tell you guys the shows that are announced, and you guys just think. All right, so the first one, this is amazing. This is like what everyone's been asking for. The Lizzie McGuire series coming
Bring it back,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, let's go. Hillary Duff.
You know what that tells me? That there's a chance they bring Brink and Johnny Tsunami back.
They
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this
Believe
one, yeah,
it.
she's playing a 30-year-old in New York, and her animated self is back.
Wow.
Explaining, like, I guess, obviously her thought process and stuff like
Wow.
that. They're bringing them back.
Wow.
They're bringing back another High School Musical.
I never watched any of
Wow.
those.
So this is going to be a series instead of, like, actual movies.
Oh, okay. I still
I just don't see it as a series, but...
keep going.
So this one's going to be... this is Toy Story. This is Forky.
Is it
For
a show?
Same
It's
same
gonna
guy,
be a
same guy
show.
voicing it.
Same guy voicing it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Let me
Tony
see here.
Hale, dude.
They announced it, but there isn't much going on with it. I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
it's voiced by the Arrested Development's Tony Hale.
Yeah, there's a couple other
Funny.
Pixar stuff coming out that they showed.
Yeah.
I heard they showed that.
Monsters at Work is another one.
Oh, that's,
Monsters, Inc.
yeah.
Voiced by the same dudes.
It's not going to be.
It's a different-
Yeah, it's going to be different cast. So it's not going to. I
It's
mean,
like-
they might make appearances because
I
I
could
think
see
it's
that.
going to be a show.
Okay. I could totally see like John Goodman or Steve Buscemi or Billy Crystal.
Billy
Just
It
Crystal.
popping
says
up.
Feldman. I don't know. Who
Corey Feldman.
I hope not.
But there's that other one, the one with Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, but that's a movie.
Right, but I'm just in the vein of
Onward.
Spider-Man and Star-Lord.
Onward, I think, is the one you're talking
The
about.
Adventures of Spider.
The fantasy.
Yeah,
thing?
that movie. That one has my interest.
Oh,
The
yeah,
premise
yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
I seen the trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
I think recently they showed something where they're trying to bring their father back. I don't know from what,
Mhm.
but like the father's missing or gone or something.
Mm.
In my head, all I think of is two brothers trying to bring a family member back. Elric brothers.
Mm.
Two brothers. Sorry, I was trying to pull a Jeff Goldblum. Marvel. Oh,
Yeah.
the mountains are
We should, talk
yo.
about, we should talk about the Jeff Goldblum show.
Sony Marvel.
I've never saw. I mean, I'm not never.
Over the top.
No, just like people taking a quirkiness and a characteristic of an individual, like in real life, and just like taking them like a towel and just like money.
Sony Marvel.
I mean, there's obviously.
And he's on board.
There's always two sides to one coin. So I've seen people say like, oh, he's like so stuck up, he doesn't care about this stuff. And other people like he's being so goofy that obviously he just
Yeah, he's
like,
hamming it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
People
just-
love that. He knows that people
the
love it.
Jurassic Park pose when he got injured.
He needs to come back. What if, dude?
Shirt open.
What if the Jurassic
Steven
Park
Spielberg
version
is
of
like,
him played?
perfect. You got the shot.
But yeah, the Monsters Inc. At this point with these announcements, that's the most interesting right now for me.
Did you guys ever see the university one?
No.
I actually haven't.
I haven't either.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not a true Monster Inc.
Ooh.
Damn it. Other than that, I mean, this one
Would you count those guys as furries? Because
The-
like the big guy is kind of furry.
Goodman, yeah.
No.
Sully.
I mean,
Yeah.
I consider a furry
Yes.
a person in a costume. This is a real person.
Is he though?
He's real.
Oh, okay. So if someone cosplayed as him, are they
They're
furry?
furry.
Damn.
No, I was kidding. Not necessarily. It depends.
I don't understand this
If
stuff.
it goes into an animal form, then yes.
What?
That's my personal.
But
view.
what if they're fictional animals? People do like
Okay.
Fox-
So, if I'm basing off of one
side
costume,
topic.
if I'm basing off of one costume, if they play Sully, I don't think it's a furry. If I see more costumes, I would say yes, they're a furry.
If they travel in a pack.
No, that
Pack
specific
of Sullys.
person having an assortment of costumes
Okay.
that are also furry.
Okay.
So we've seen this one, the What If one.
Oh, the Marvel stuff. So
The Marvel.
are we
but,
going to Marvel now?
I think. Well, no, I'm just going down the list.
What are you doing?
They
What
can
is it?
only improve on the What If comics are garbage. The titles are cool, but
Yeah.
like it's always stupid.
From what I understand, they're going to do one for every movie that's come out thus far.
Every movie.
So I think
What
some
if
are going to be
Spider-Man
more...
was still in Disney? Let's go.
That should be the first one. They're just like, we had
Or
all
what
these
if Iron Man
ideas.
became Spider-Man or some shit, some weird thing?
Well, it shows here they have a couple. It says storylines include Bucky / Winter Soldier facing off a creepy zombie. I don't know what that's based off of.
Well, it's not. It's going to be like like alternatives.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming they're based off of comic book what
No.
ifs. Okay.
They're
It's
not.
the movies.
They're going to be based on like what I was saying. They're going to take each of the movies that have come out and do an alternate to them as a what if.
What if
I don't know what aspect of those they'll be like what if, but there'll be something they'll be like what if this
another
happened.
one is Peggy Carter getting the
Yeah.
super soldier serum.
So that would be like Captain America first
Yeah.
Avenger.
It says with Steve Rogers taking on a big more what? Taking on a more bulky Mark Iron Man suit.
so? What if Captain America became Iron?
Yeah, what
Man?
if Steve Rogers became Tony Stark?
Iron Patriot? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Norman Osborn though.
Oh, okay, never mind.
In the comics,
Oh,
that's not. He's a Spider-Man character. They can't mess.
oh shit. Or can they?
I mean, they have Spider-Man stuff at their. They were showing prototype stuff for their Disneyland stuff,
Oh,
and Spider-Man's
wow.
there. And I was like,
I think at
they
the
should have
expo-
a. They should have a rest in peace.
At the expo, they were he was promoting that Onward movie.
Yeah.
The one that he's
he
voicing.
talked about.
Yeah. And then we have the Marvel's Loki, which we've heard and seen before.
A little bit, yeah. I'm
there's
curious how it's gonna
That's
go.
a what if, technically.
No, it happened.
I mean, well, in the movie, like it explains how already.
You got
which
the. You got
they
the.
explain-
That's technically a what if.
Is that the?
Yeah. Because it's a different timeline. So
is
it's
it-
a what if.
Is it though?
Different
I see what
timeline.
you're saying, but they've already I don't know.
It's
Is
a
it
different
though?
time. What if?
Is it
Different
though?
time. Yes.
The other one is the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which we've already heard of as well.
Did they replace Winter Soldier, the actor?
No.
Okay.
Sebastian Stan's always been
Okay.
it.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
I'm looking into
Saw a Twitter
it.
thing.
I don't
Check
see
it out.
it. I don't see his name. I don't know. I see Sacha Baron Cohen. I'm just kidding.
What the hell? Borat?
We have WandaVision as well,
I'm curious if they're gonna go off the Tom King
which still
story,
blows my
the
mind.
Vision
It's
story.
Wanda and Vision, dude. I thought it was what she sees, dude. I was like, we have the and then there. So this is the newer shows. Miss Marvel.
Of Kamala.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
She-Hulk.
I'm
That's
interested
gonna
in
be
that
good
one.
Too.
And
If
Moon
it's-
Yeah,
Moon Knight's
I'm
gonna be
really
good too.
curious about that one.
So I need more explanation on Moon Knight. Like,
He's a whack job.
Yeah.
so he's not okay, and there's nothing having to do with Batman. I always feel like
No,
him
he
and
has-
Batman
has
are always
nothing-
compared.
Just because they're in the night, they have cowls, and they
There's-
have like batarangs.
Okay.
I just
Every-
remember.
That's the only things they share.
I forgot who wrote it. I remember this one panel from a Moon Knight comic where the guy's like, "Why are you dressed in white? The bad guys can see you." He's like, "I want them to see me." I was like, "Fuck."
So I
I
follow.
think it's Warren Ellis.
It probably is his run.
He had a good run.
Yeah, I think it's his run.
I follow like comic books on Reddit, and with the announcement of Moon Knight, they've been showing a lot more
Panels and stuff.
panels on it or whatever. And one of them it's like I think 6 panels on
Mhm.
the thing. So the middle one are all the enemies shooting at him, and every panel is him dodging the bullets
Mhm.
as they go out into those panels. So that was a really cool one.
Yeah.
And another one is he zigzags to dodge this
Ah,
guy,
okay.
and at the end, the whole panel is almost white because it's his cape coming through the panel. So every panel is completely full with color.
Yeah, yeah.
With him in the middle somewhere with as him
He's
being
coming
white.
out of it.
And then it's like it's literally his whole cape is that the white part of the panel.
Okay.
And so only a little bit is colorful, which is him going into that panel about to hit the guy, and that looks wonderful.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It
They got
just looks
very
so nice.
get very interesting with how they portrayed like the designs and the.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna up it a notch. Keanu Reeves as Moon Knight. Let's go.
I'm on board.
Let's go.
Keanu Reeves as She-Hulk.
I just dude,
Who would be a
if,
good She-Hulk?
if like they somehow are
Katie
able,
Sackhoff.
or if they're somehow able to like what
Yeah.
they do to these panels to make them like that amazing. Because I mean I'm sure I don't follow.
Oh,
comic
bring it to
books.
camera.
Yeah, but somehow bring it to camera where like the background becomes what.
I
like,
mean,
he's doing.
Daredevil kind of had a fight scene that was kind of cool. Let's not talk. It was funny. It's like I was like, damn, they fucked up with Netflix in Marvel. Like Marvel fucked up with Netflix, but this is so fucking promising. Like, if they follow the source
like,
material,
To me, the part that I want them to do, and I feel like they can. I just don't. I mean, I don't know what tone they're gonna go for, but they could totally bring back the cast of
Sure.
Daredevil, and then imagine that like we have Daredevil, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, like the world that these characters would exist in. More so, like in cross, like seeing Moon Knight run in with Punisher, seeing Daredevil
Yeah.
run in with, dude, Daredevil and She-Hulk in a court case.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I would love that, and they might do it down the road because of Netflix like rules and stuff. But I think like the casting was just so Vincent D'Onofrio and the rest of that cast was so good.
Hmm.
I'm a little bummed, but it is what it is.
So yeah, those 3 announcements like She-Hulk.
I
Miss
hope they
Marvel.
do those 3 justice.
And I
like
think
they
Miss
do some-
Marvel's gonna be like animated.
Is it?
Oh,
I thought it was.
please don't.
I know What If is animated.
Oh, okay, maybe.
What
that's
If is the animated one. The other 3 I thought were live action.
Okay. And then we have Muppets Now.
What?
Muppets.
The like Kermit and Nolan?
I believe so. Yeah, the Muppets will be starring in an unscripted short
Oh yeah.
form series called Muppets Now.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know if this is. I don't think this is directly planned with the streaming service though, because this one has no mention of the streaming service. I think this is just something Disney's doing, and it will be released in other spots.
They didn't talk about Hawkeye. I think that's the best show. Like if they follow the source
There
material.
wasn't more like at least I don't think there is more information given about Hawkeye on this one. Same thing with Black Widow. Since it wasn't on here, I don't think there was more info given.
No,
on
they
that
had a
one.
poster and they had footage.
Oh, okay.
So they showed, what's his name, Hopper from Stranger Things in the full suit,
Hmm.
and like he's in this weird like red Captain America-ish suit, but he's got like a burly beard. To me in my head, I'm like, I can't see that. They had a younger Natasha in in an older outfit, and then they had Rachel Weisz, who I guess was also Black Widow, and then they showed Taskmaster. I guess the footage that they had there not available online, but Taskmaster, who's the main antagonist, I think,
Yeah.
on a helicopter or a tank or something.
Did they cast Taskmaster?
I don't think
The
so.
guy who plays Deathstroke should be Taskmaster.
The most recent one,
in
Suicide
Green
Squad?
Arrow.
oh, that
Yeah.
one. I thought you were talking about the one in the
No,
movies.
no.
He was in Magic Mike,
Mm.
the
Oh,
super,
yeah,
the
yeah,
D and D guy.
Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, but the Arrow guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we have a couple Star Wars ones. Star Wars.
Just
Clone
a
Wars.
couple.
A handful.
Several.
Star Wars.
Clone Wars is back.
is back,
Mhm.
and now they didn't show new footage, but I'm assuming like it's going to continue the series.
I think so.
And so it's going to come back
Because it
on-
got canceled.
exactly. So I think it comes back on Disney Plus as a continued series.
Ahsoka's back.
Rogue One series. So this is a
A
prequel.
show?
I believe it's going to be a show. Yeah, a previously announced Disney Plus new series based on the Rogue One characters, which is Andor, which is the guy, the Diego. Luna,
Oh, him, yeah.
and his
robot companion?
K2SO.
Yeah,
KSI.
So this is going to be a prequel.
Sure.
As if anyone knows, seen it, is aware it's going to be a prequel. Then we have the Mandalorian, and keep in mind that all these are going to come out on the Disney Plus service.
Yeah.
We have the Mandalorian, which they announced or showed a
Trailer.
a
It looks
trailer.
good.
Yeah, and it looks interesting.
Each episode is a different. They got like a different director for each one.
That's
so
cool,
Taika
too.
Waititi,
That's cool.
John Favreau is like the main one, I think.
I
Ron
hope they're able
Howard.
to-
Damn, they got some fucking
No, they got some
heavy
A-listers.
hitters.
Yeah, I think Catherine Bigelow, maybe. I'm not sure.
Wow.
It shows Favreau brought out a cast of Pedro Pascal,
Yeah, he's the
Nice.
main.
Gina Carano,
Yeah.
Yes.
Carl Weathers,
These are all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
actors.
Apollo.
Giancarlo Esposito, and Tai Kai
He's the director.
I could have took a picture with Giancarlo. San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about that one.
and it looks interesting, extremely. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, the
Coming
dream
He's back, baby.
is true.
So this is, I believe he's playing a young
Palpatine.
himself. So,
That's cool, man.
It's
so-
not young, so it's in between 3 and 4. Or
I guess young
Ooh.
from like what it would be now.
So we see his
he's
ex.
not. Yeah, he's not an Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
So we
like-
see his exile.
Yeah, he's in between, and I
Damn.
believe. No. They showed the timeline. There's a picture of the timeline, and it's right. It's the movie is supposed to take place, or the show, whatever it is supposed to take place sometime during the same period that the Han Solo movie was.
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys saw the Han Solo movie.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm gonna.
No,
Well,
Because
I didn't
Christopher
actually.
Miller and Phil Lord got fired, so no.
okay. Well, they showed something at the end
Okay.
that Darth Maul's still around.
Ah, I know that he's still around.
It was a
with, like-
hologram.
I know
Yeah.
he's still around with metal appendages.
Well, that was in the before Disney acquired, and I didn't
Ooh.
know if it was canon anymore.
The Han Solo is him as a young person, though, right? So I mean, he wouldn't have technically have died.
No, it was after the Han Solo was young. He didn't live during the Clone Wars,
Right.
so Han Solo took place after Episode 3, before Episode 4.
Fuck. Okay. I just saw him as a young one, so I'm like, it's way earlier than
Youngin?
anything I've seen. I don't know the actual like times because I just know like every time I've seen Han Solo, he's already done that
Kessel Run.
Kessel run. I'm not gonna kiss her. It's a kelp run.
It's a Kessel Run. Okay.
How
I
many
don't call
parsecs?
Astaroth
How many parsecs?
Astaroth.
2.5.
Yeah, but
That was good.
he's younger than Obi-Wan.
Okay.
So that's why I feel like it makes sense that his movie took place after the Clone Wars
Mhm.
stuff happened. But yeah, at least based on that picture they showed this big thing on the presentation, and they showed on the Han Solo movie taking up this chunk, and then they said Obi-Wan series, and it was like pointing to a similar time period.
It's in this general area.
What
So,
if
I'm
Star
just saying,
Wars-
I think the dream is that him and Maul
Mm.
have a rematch of some sort. I don't know if they'll go that route, but
Gotcha.
that's what I'm pulling for.
1-on-1 now.
They did it in a comic once where like Maul tracks him down to Tatooine, and he's like, "I know why you're here. You're here to protect." And he's like, "I'm not sent by anyone. I'm here on. I just want you." And like, it's like sort of like a spaghetti western.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm like, dude, this is fucking epic. Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, those are the shows. Other than that, it's been movies that they have announced as well.
They
Black Panther
they did
2.
announce Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther 2, but that's a movie
Yeah.
that'll come out to theaters.
The
and also
question I
Disney
have
Plus.
comes out November.
The service
What are they dropping on that day?
Mandalorian.
What
and
if?
What old movies?
All the old vintage like the Disney
Disney?
Vault stuff.
Marvel stuff, not yet. They slowly.
I think
easing
some of
it.
the movies like Captain Marvel.
Yeah, because those, I like by the time they figured out all this Disney Plus, they're like, no, we're not going to give it to Netflix. But the ones on Netflix, I don't think can be on the Disney until that
I don't know.
that
But-
deal's over.
I think some of that. I might be hesitant to get it at launch,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
definitely interested to pick it up at
And
the
the-
price point it's at,
Yeah.
$7.99
Yeah, dude.
for up to
and
7
they're
users.
they're allowing a Atmos or whatever Dolby or like the highest sound quality at
And
this price
4K.
range. Yeah,
Ooh.
4K. It's insane, dude. So, and people are speculating like Disney is able to lose money on this, and so they're going to continue doing that until
I think
they
it's
have
going
a-
to be
a
like,
large.
yeah, I think it's going to be like, I think how Netflix had started where it was super cheap, and then they just like, hey, we're raising the price. And they're like, well, we should just keep it
And then they'll do a service where it's like, no, we're splitting our services, DVD and then streaming as well.
physical.
Do you think they would ever do like, all right, this one Marvel movie just exclusive to Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think when they get the chance, they're going to do all exclusive
I
to
think
their
it's
own.
happening with Spider-Man already.
I know, right? I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
You know what? I let's talk about that a little
They're
bit.
gonna do a what if where if he stays.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Jesus.
That should be the first one. Like, here was our script that we had planned for.
Or just a big fuck you. What if we lost Spider-Man and just nothing? Like this is it. dude.
The thing I was gonna bring up, and it's. I mean, you could say pros and cons on both sides because everyone's got a different reason they
Mhm.
love this. You know, the Spider-Man, the MCU, and all that. But one of the things that I liked, and I'm hopeful of. I don't want to look at this as a total negative. Was that a lot of Spider-Man's villains have been fallouts of Tony's life.
Oh,
Like the Vulture was a fallout of all the Tony Stark stuff, Stark Industries. What was the last one?
Mysterio.
Was a fallout of that, and that this would give. They've done so well with the series that maybe this separation will let him just. You mentioned, I think, where like what Stanley was saying, like they sold it for what? How much?
300 million.
And it's like $1 billion just by himself, like
Mhm.
him and the franchise and everything they have, and maybe they're paying for that now. Like they're like, fuck, we fucked up until they buy Sony, but Disney owned PS4s.
What's crazy is when I think of, it should be Captain America, but when I think of the Marvel like head person, it's Spider-Man. Like,
Iron Man.
well, I mean,
I'm just
they
kidding.
make him out in the movies, but I mean, like, I think Spider-Man is Marvel. Like, if
He's had-
he's the brand.
He's
So
the
many
S
goddamn-
Superman symbol
Yeah.
for.
He's
for
had so
Marvel.
many goddamn movies.
Poor Uncle Ben.
How many times does he have to die?
Make Jeff Goldblum Uncle Ben, dude.
He'll never die, dude.
He'll be like,
Sony?
uh-huh.
In the mountains of Baruch.
Dude, he should be Green Goblin.
Wow, yeah. Give him all the roles, dude. Have him play all Sinister Six. Like, fuck it, dude. One man, like, Nutty Professor, Eddie Murphy, this guy, dude.
It's fucking Photoshop.
Craven,
Green
the
screen him
Manhunter. The open chest. I've been waiting for you, Spider-Man.
Oh my
Vulture, old man.
dude, he's like
That would be cool, dude.
he's like an old school stage actor stuck in real time, like modern times.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. I think what blew me the biggest with D23 was how much property Disney owns. Like they did have some Simpsons news too. I was like, what? Like it's both awe-inspiring and scary at the same
They're
time.
like, we own Fox.
It's like, oh,
You know how like businesses can't have monopolies? Do you
Yeah.
think creatively, like there isn't a law that does that? Does there?
I don't know. I thought it was because there's this big multi-year hoopla of like T-Mobile and Sprint merging, and they've made it like, can they, can't they?
But that's
And there's not-
that's business wise.
Right. Well, this is still, I guess, to some degree business, but it's more creative.
Mm-hmm.
But like, all of Hollywood is owned by like one major studio. Then like,
Well, there is a huge deal right now with a lot of streamers had their phone numbers hacked through AT&T, and through that their Twitters were hacked. That's how that. I'm sure you've seen the meme where it's like, I'm tired of being hacked. I'm gonna release my nude, and they've put. So it started with James Charles. James
Mm.
Charles,
I didn't
like
know that.
his account was like, they're like, if we get a certain amount of likes, we will release his nudes. And
Shit.
after he got his account back, he's like, no one's gonna hold this over me, and he released his nude, which is just showing his fucking butt. And then a bunch of other people like H3H3 Ethan, he shows his cellulite ass. Same, and then he posted the exact same post that he did with his own picture.
That's funny.
And so a lot of different people did it. And so it's just a meme now, like that's going on. But yeah, AT&T screwed the fuck
So
up.
we got to do that too.
And
Weekly
so-
DLC.
yeah, I'm done now.
She's like, nah.
Wait, he's like, oh fuck, what did I share this story?
But I think moments like that is what like has issues with like one company like owning everything, because if that happens and AT&T owns everything,
Well,
you
I
can't
wonder,
go
like,
somewhere else.
domestically, it sounds like it seems like more of a concern. I wonder if there's a big push on a national level to ignore this, because they're like, Disney is our strongest horse as a country
Mm-hmm.
in terms of Hollywood stuff presence, and China is like getting a big front in like they're making theaters everywhere. They have a lot of industry that they're trying to pick up internationally in the creative, in the media entertainment stuff. And I wonder if there's some
way to find it.
deal underground of like, I mean, this is all conspiracy
Yeah.
theory shit, but like in my head I'm like, I wonder if that's the reason they've turned a blind eye to it.
Thanks,
Mm.
Alex. I appreciate it.
Jeffrey Epstein.
It's the corporations.
It's the water, guys.
How are the corporations getting away with this, Bernie?
It's the corporations.
Joe.
Go for it, dude.
The corporations, Joe. They make the laws, Joe.
That's all I have.
That's all I got. Dude.
Where can people find you guys?
They can find me at the Philia everywhere, but not really.
At the last bosses everywhere.
You can find me at Kujo Prime. You can find us all at the Weekly DLC. And check out episode 136 next week.
Mm.
Enjoy
Another
your Labor Day
ASMR.
weekend.
Hey.
And until next time, we'll
DLC.
You later.